So I want to talk about communication and why it's an important asset. This is in part why I started this 30-day thing where I'm making a YouTube video every day to get better at talking on video and learning to edit a compelling video. I'm not particularly good at this now, but I want to get better at it. And the only way from this state to being good is to put in the work. But to tell you why this is important, I want to talk about my blog instead, which is some place I'm more competent. I have a pretty successful tech blog, and it has a pretty decent reach. It's a pretty niche blog, but it's found its audience. It has no ads or anything, so I'm not making money off it. But I mostly write about stuff that interests me for the joy of writing, and that's enough. I'm also working on an open source internet search engine, and as of a few years ago, I'm doing this full time, mostly thanks to grants and private donations. So I'm at a state where I have no day job, no boss. I'm just pursuing my interests on my own terms, which is, well, it seems like a pretty successful outcome, but it's not always as glamorous as it seems. I'm basically working more than I did when I had a job, but I like the freedom of being my own boss. I started blogging in 2020 and nothing really changed overnight, but it built momentum. And as a side effect of this, I've been interviewed by publications like The New Yorker, and I arrived in this sort of success state in part because I built a search engine that got pretty popular, but in part because I was writing about it. And, in part because I got lucky. There's always an element of luck, right? At a glance, it seems like building a fire where it's like heat, fuel, and oxygen. There's work, communication, and luck. But it's actually simpler than that. Working communication increases the odds you'll get lucky. There's a concept called the luck surface area that's about this. It doesn't matter what you're doing, what you're building, what you're tinkering with. It won't change your life in any way if you don't tell the world about it. Likewise, if you only talk, if you don't have anything to say, that really won't accomplish much either. But if you have both those components, the odds of magic happening is increasing quite drastically. And it's not an overnight thing, but it accumulates and the ball gets rolling. Another example of communication comes from the Linux world, and this is a bit of a controversial bit. There's a Linux distribution called Omarchy, which is pretty controversial, mostly because it was created by DHH, which is a divisive guy, known mostly for Ruby on Rails, and upon like the great Babylonian schism of Elon accidentally buying Twitter, was sorted into the Hogwarts house of social media users that stayed on X. So not everyone likes this guy, but he has reach and he's good at communication. So in short and simple terms, Omarchy is a getting started kit for using Linux like the really cool kids without having to get a PhD in Linux configuration. It's conceptually very simple, like anyone could have put together this, and it was immediately very popular. So there was quite a lot of sour grapes from people who felt that his success wasn't earned. This was DHH was rich or whatever, or just didn't like the guy and like his divisive. So that's fair enough. But 99% of the success of this distribution is down to the fact that DHH, for all his controversies, is a pretty competent communicator and is good reach. If he puts something out there, people will listen to it or see it, for better or worse. So that's why Omarchy took off. And if you want to replicate that sort of success, you need to be good at communication. Communication and reach is a capital. Like when you're self-employed, it's a very important one as well. So if I want to keep doing this, I need to be good at communicating in various ways. I'm a competent writer, but obviously video making has some room for improvement. So that's why I'm doing this. I've talked previously about the sort of month structure I have for these things, but I didn't choose videos completely randomly. There's a thought behind it. So what I'm doing every day is to make a video, put it together somehow, make a thumbnail, I upload it, and add a description and so on. And then after a while, I watch it and find stuff to improve on for the next video. Could I have cut it differently? Did I they make a stupid thumbnail, whatever. This is only day 3, obviously, but I already have quite a lot of notes, and so like for this video, I put a lot of effort into the script that I didn't before. It's not completely scripted, but there's a lot more script than the previous video, which didn't have any script at all. I felt like I got a lot of this stuff for free with my blog. Writing is very intuitive for me, but this stuff is much harder, but it's also very powerful. So, here we are. We'll see where this goes.